We got meat chickens! These little guys have been on our homestead for a week now. They're probably like 8 days old. They already have their feathers coming in. They're still fluffy, but they're already growing so much. These meat chickens grow so fast, it's insane. We should be able to butcher them in June. So it's April 26th today. We'll be able to butcher them mid-June, which is such a fast turnaround. But we're excited. One of our goals this year was to put 50 chickens in our freezer. So we started with 31 chickens. So today we're gonna tell you what you need to know before you get meat chickens. We definitely are not pros. This is our first time, but we're gonna tell you what we've learned so far before we got these guys. So stay tuned as we share that with you. So, are you ready to do this thing?
I am not ready.
No, we are not ready to butcher chickens.
One is,
Well, yeah.
weather's crazy.
Woo.
And two,
April showers bring
I'm definitely not
Mayflower
wearing the right
scents.
attire.
No, this will be a whole journey to learn what butchering chickens is like because we've never done it. We've never even been to a chicken butchering.
Nope.
We tried to like find one. We may still try to find one between
There's so
now
many
and
things
June.
that we've even butchered.
A cow.
Cow.
Butchered a cow.
Pigs.
You may have. Yeah, I've only been around a cow being butchered, but we're going to do it. We're going to jump in. We're learning as we go, and we're going to show you guys. So make sure, if you haven't yet, subscribe to our channel because you're not going to want to miss these amateur homesteaders butchering chickens for the first time and showing you. So make sure you subscribe to us. And
So we built a chicken tractor real quick off the materials that we had on our land. And
we'll be showing you all the details of that in today's video of how Miguel built it.
And we've had them for 1 week, bringing it into a local town to pick those up. I think we said there was 1,000 chickens there.
1,000 chickens delivered that
and we
day.
picked
We
up
got
only 30.
31,
So
yeah.
a ton of chickens will be
Being butchered in June around the area.
Yep.
So we won't be alone.
thousands.
But first, it's spring. Like we said, it's April. We're getting showered right now. We're getting ready for all the things. So there's lots of things going on the homestead. So we're going to take you along to show you what we've been up to.
April showers bring
We hope so many
chicken.
flowers. No, I've planted a lot of flowers in the garden. so I'm
Mayflowers
excited.
and chicken.
Chicken in your freezer. We'll see. Come see what's happening.
So these ducks follow pretty much Brittany everywhere. I don't know why.
These will not be included in the June butchering. These are our friends. Where are you going? Come on.
So after the time frame where we had the cows in the front yard, it was time to move them to the back of the property. But they left us with a ton of the good stuff, manure. This stuff man, people pay big money for this stuff, and so we were fortunate to have a ginormous amount of it left in the front yard. So we decided just to go ahead and move it to the back or to the garden and use that as a great way to start the season of gardening, putting this fresh, ready to use soil into our garden. And so we got to till this in and make it ready for our garden, and it was definitely a game changer to our gardening season.
So we tilled this into the garden at the beginning of the gardening season when it was still chilly and cold outside. And then we got our potatoes and onions planted. And I will tell you, having the manure in there made a difference. One side of the garden did not get as much manure as you can see in this video. Our potatoes are small, but as we get further to the back of the garden, the increase in the size of our potatoes, and our onions is incredible. Right about here, you'll start to see that they are so big, and so putting this manure in really did prove to have really good value for our garden, and next year we'll make sure to double up on how much we include in our garden so that we can spread it evenly all over. And as we planted more of our garden, as spring has come on, we have definitely made sure to get more and more manure. It is a great asset to have on your farm if you have cows. Make sure you're using it. It is so valuable, and we are so excited to watch our garden flourish. We also want to tell you to make sure you subscribe to our channel so that you can tune in to future videos, because y'all, we upgraded and we put in a watering system that is proving to be incredible so far into our garden. We can't wait to show you all the ins and outs of what we did. So sometimes you take things down that you put up. When we first moved here, we were trying to make a bigger area for our chickens to come out of their coop into this. And then we put some T-posts up here that we thought we would use for a little goat pen. We don't have goats. We never got them. So now we're putting up a barbed wire fence around our property. We need the T-posts because if you didn't know, the price of T-posts adds up. So we're taking this little section down that we never really use. It's kind of pointless. And we're going to reuse the T-post. And so it didn't really hurt anything because all of this was reused materials anyways. But yeah, sometimes you just have to take down what you already did. Okay, so at the end of the gardening season last year, we added on to our garden right here. We made it like a lasagna gardening. That's why it looks crazy. There's layers of cardboard, manure, pine needles, grass clippings. It's just sat all winter. Now we're gonna get ready to plant it. So starting down here, and we have added a bunch of compost layers on top, and we'll just add more as we plant. But tonight we're gonna get an arch in the ground with a cattle panel, and this is the first time doing that. And we're gonna plant some loofahs because they vine over it. So we're gonna do a lot of our vining plants back here.
Hey guys, it's a beautiful Saturday. Brittany asked me, she asked me to build a brooding tractor, I guess, chicken hen tractor for our hens coming, I think in a couple weeks or a week from today. And so I think we're picking them up. So I had some leftover material that we've been just kind of keeping, always had material around. And so just drew something up real quick, and we're going to throw it together here in the front or side yard in front of the trailer. So no, you're good. So real quick, we're gonna build out 2x6 material, 2x4s, then we're gonna put a top on it, and then it will have chicken wire wrapped around it. And so it'll be movable, be on cart wheels on the back side, so we can move it around the yard. And yeah, we'll get started, and you get to watch the process as we go forward. So this is going to be a 4x8 chicken tractor, so 4 feet by 8 feet long, and be about 2.5 feet tall. So we're always, like most building practices, always start with from the ground and go up. So we're going to build our base. Build our base first, and then we will add the sides and then go up from there. So we'll have we're using 2x6, and for the base, the 2x4 is going up, and then probably 2x4, 2x8 on the top side. So. All right, so again, we put this together 2x6, 2x4 material with a lid that's going to raise all the way up. And over we have plastic netting around the sides, and then we'll add 2 wheels to the back side of this so that when you have to move the chickens in the box, lift it and it'll roll. So said just have to have 2 more things, and then I think we'll be done with this little project. So 3 of the kids are going to get the chickens today around 1 o'clock, and we'll move them. I have feed and a light for them to brood in, and I'll obviously, of course, water, and they will be set to go.
Before you decide to get any meat chickens, we want to tell you a few things you might consider, you might need to know before meat chickens come home to your house. So first off, you're going to need a brooder.
Don't get confused with broiler.
Yeah, broiler.
You do that if you do that in a couple of months.
Yeah.
You'll broil them.
Yeah. So a brooder is what chickens go in when they're babies, right? So
it could be a crate. Dog, yeah, it'd be a kennel. It could be a crate. It could be, small. What we have is like a chicken tractor.
Well, what we've used for our laying hens, we've used tubs. And then you want to have something. You just want it to be secure from predators.
For sure.
You want it to have a heat lamp. So that's a big deal, especially when these chickens are little, and these meat chickens can stay in there a little less time than laying hens, but because they're going to get bigger faster. They get their feathers in like a week. Like you saw, ours are already getting their real feathers. It takes them less time because they just grow faster. So you want to have something in place to keep them secure and warm as babies.
Yep.
But like Miguel said, like we did, we decided to make a brooder / tractor, so we're using it for the same thing. Now the only way we can do that is because it's April.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's warmer.
Temperature-wise, yeah.
Yeah, if we were doing,
they would need
chickens,
right now they have a heat lamp. So
yeah, even now it's still kind of cold and
chilly.
rainy.
We have a jacket on.
Yeah, but if we were doing it, any earlier in the year or later in the year, we would definitely have to keep them, on our porch or in our shed or something like that.
Is there a temperature degree like they need to be at?
Well, they I think when they're babies, they need to be at like 90 degrees.
90 degrees.
Yeah,
90 degrees.
And so the heat lamp is important, so make sure you have a heat lamp on your chickens to start.
So primarily what you want to do if you have laying hens and you choose to have meat birds, you need to keep them separate because primarily for the reason of
their feed is different, because laying hens are going to have feed that's going to give them more nutrients and calcium and things
more
like
protein
that to lay eggs. And the meat chickens is going to have more protein.
Yep. So
because they're going to grow faster. Did you know that meat chickens, they'll be ready to butcher in like 8 weeks, which is crazy. They grow incredibly fast, and part of that is by giving them the right kind of food.
I didn't know, we actually, our Yamboree FFA, they have meat bird
competitions. Yeah.
I had no clue, that's why they had the competitions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So they get bigger. They have judging on them. But one thing someone said, like when we were reading about what to do and all these things, she said, if you were getting a butcher to butcher your chickens, like you raise them, but you're sending them to let someone else butcher them, they're going to charge you the same amount per bird with chickens. They don't weigh them. So you want to beef them up and get the best bang for your buck. And for us, we're going to put in the time and effort to butcher these chickens. We want them to be as big as possible.
Yeah.
So that we get more meat for our family.
10 pounders.
Yeah, but still naturally done here on our homestead.
I think it's possible.
But okay, so like we said, we chose to do the chicken tractor idea. And the reason why we did that, and the reason why it's low to the ground, is because these broiler chickens, these Cornish cross, which we have, they don't roost because they get so big so quickly. So they don't jump up like your normal ones. They just stay low to the ground. Now they still like to scavenge on the ground like regular chickens.
Yeah.
And so we will move our chicken tractor. We made it where, we can lift it and move it. we'll move it once or twice a day for them so they have fresh ground. So it's really helpful.
All right, you don't want to spend a fortune on chicken tractor as far as the space that they'll be using, whether it be a brooder or chicken tractor or coop, because it's going to be a temporary space.
It's only 8 weeks.
So you don't need to build the Taj Mahal for chickens,
Yeah.
because you're just going to sit there. Unless you do this, month
Yeah.
after month.
Yeah.
You don't need something that you stare at.
I did
it's
hear
not being
people say you
used.
could use it for, rabbits if you want to do that. That's not something we plan to do
Hey, rabbits.
ever at this point. And so
But
ours will be in storage until the fall when we do this again.
yeah, don't spend a fortune. Use what you have.
Yeah.
Use what you can get at an affordable price, and make it simple.
And the reason why we chose a tractor, which moves, the reason why it's called a tractor is because it moves. Is it because what?
They poop a lot.
They poop a lot. They're going to be pooping a lot, and we will move it. And
All that feed.
they will get
They eat through that feed.
the grass and get to forage like they want to, but it will also help our grass to be more fertilized, which will essentially make better grass for the cows to come over and graze. Can you hear the cows mooing at us?
They
Come
want
graze
some grass.
later when it grows. So it's double. It's good for them and us.
There you go.
Okay, so the last thing we have to tell you is make a plan of how many birds you want to butcher and buy more than that. So we told y'all our family goal is 50 chickens in our freezer at the end of this year. So this first spring butchering, we wanted to do 25 chickens.
Yep.
So we
And we'll do
bought
another 25 at the end.
Yeah, we'll do another 25 at the end. So this time we bought 30, just with the
Expecting
idea
to
that
lose.
some might die, because chickens, especially as babies, I mean, they come to you a day or 2 days old. They are,
Mortality rate is pretty high.
yeah, pretty low, pretty high.
Mortality? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Which one is it? Okay, their death rate can be high. I don't know which one that is, but
I'm still thinking about it. Mortality now. Mortality?
doesn't mortality mean life?
Living? Yeah.
Okay, so they're prone to dying
Very
at
low.
this young age, whether it's from the elements, whether it's from something getting them, whether it's just because they flop over and die. We don't know, but just plan ahead and get more than you plan to butcher and you want to butcher.
More is better
More is better.
in most things. In this.
Yeah.
In most things.
Speaking of predators,
Like I said, mortality rate is very low because someone named Pumpkin wants to enjoy a snack. Some chicken wings. Chicken wing. He is trying to figure out how to get in.
you getting camera shy?
No, she probably wouldn't touch these. I mean, she's around the ducks and everything else, but she's just curious what's going on inside there. See all these shrimp.